It's a production estimate for a firewood processor. That's what's missing on our website. Is you will notice on our website, if you look under our firewood processors, we don't have a production estimate for them. And the reason for it is really quite simple. It's because there's so many variables when you're dealing with wood that it's hard to say. Everybody is going to have a different result based on a handful of different things. One's going to be your setup, how you are loading the wood, how you're moving the wood. I've mentioned this a lot of times in the wood splitter videos, and a firewood processor is no different at all. You have to be able to move the wood to the live deck and get it out the conveyor, out the back of it. With a firewood processor, obviously it's a whole lot more efficient, but again, depending on whether you're running by yourself and loading the deck by yourself, or whether you're loading with a skid steer or a log truck, those are all huge variables in how much production you're actually going to get out of a firewood processor. And it doesn't matter which one it is. And the reason I'm bringing this up is it's a lot like the tonnage on the splitters. There's a lot of companies you will see that advertise extreme numbers, extreme level of production out of these firewood processors. And at the end of the day, guys, it doesn't, all these processors, all these big processors will normally cycle in around that 3 to 5 second range. So for each piece of wood, it takes 3 to 5 seconds to cut and split it. And it depends on the machine what the cycle time is. But that's the cold hard truth. If all of them cycle in 3 seconds, and the 3-second cycle machines have the potential to have the same amount of production. Same as at 4 seconds. If they all cycle in 4 seconds, they should all theoretically produce the same amount of wood, because it's 4 seconds, one block to the next. Now, the big variable here, the very important one to remember, is a simple, basic math lesson. And it really is, it's not too hard to figure it out. If you look at this pile of wood here, we have really nice wood. It's all pretty consistent, but how much does a simple change, a small number, change the production of your firewood processor? And if you've ever tried to figure out the volume of a cylinder, that's exactly what we are doing here. The production is a volume of firewood. So here's what I've got. This is my ponderings for the day, so I hope you like it. So an 8-inch diameter piece of wood at 16 inches is going to be 803 cubic inches. That's what it's going to be. If it's perfectly round, 8 inches in diameter, it is going to be 803 cubic inches. Now, you would think naturally going up to a 16-inch piece of wood is going to double your production. That's just not so. That's not how this works. This isn't how circles work. Like I said, it's basic math here, guys. That's not how circles work, and I'll run you through it here. I'll show you what I mean. So if you simply take and go up 4 inches in your diameter, go from 8 inches to 12 inches, you can see that it goes up to 1,800 cubic inches of wood. You've already doubled your production just going up 4 inches in diameter. Well, what happens if we actually double it? Well, we've got that here. So go from 8 inches of a diameter to 16 inches in diameter. You're gonna have 4 times the production, just doubling the size of your wood from 8 to 16. You're gonna go up to 3,200 cubic feet in each pass. And you're saying, well, that's awesome, that's great. Well, the important part of this is when you go 4 times the production, that's the difference between 2 full cord an hour and 8 full cord an hour. That's a big gap, guys. There's a big window there, let alone all the other variables with how your wood is. If it's straight, if it's crooked, if it's knotty, if it's there's a lot of different factors here, guys. So this is why we don't put production levels on our website. I just won't put them up because it varies so much. And you can see even something as simple as a couple of inches in your block of wood makes a world of difference. And obviously, if you're able to run 20-inch stuff through a 12 or 16-way wedge consistently all day, every day, you're gonna have huge numbers. We don't live in a perfect world. you're not always going to have that. You're going to have the small scraggly pieces. You're going to have the stuff that's crooked. You're going to have all that stuff. Most guys typically with a processor like the 4000 series or the 48C are going to average somewhere between 3 to 5 full cord an hour. Are you going to have days where you can get more than that? Absolutely you will. Are you going to have days where you're going to get a whole lot less than that? Absolutely you will. The big thing with this, when you're considering buying one of these Firewood processors, you have to consider that the variable is going to be the same whether it's a splitter or a processor. The big thing with this is manpower. The amount of resources, the amount of human resources you have to actually run the equipment. If you can get logs in, straight logs, clean logs, even crooked stuff, it doesn't really matter for these processors. They still run through pretty good. But if you need to put an extra man and you're doing this full time, then that's the difference in buying a processor. That's the payment on the whole system. It's one man. If you're paying one man a full-time wage, you've made the payment on a processor. So that's one thing to consider there, guys. Let me know what you think. If you're running a processor, drop a line below and let me know what you think your average production rate is out of it. And if not, just let me know what you think of the video, guys. Like I said, it's just simple basic math, and I think a lot of it hasn't been put into perspective too well for a lot of people, because unless you're doing math all the time or you're aware of it, it's not something you probably think about in terms of that little bit adding that much more to it. So just let me know, guys. Like I said, it's those are my ponderings for the day. Like I said, I just seen I've been going through the other Firewood processor websites and seeing production rates, and it's so skewed. It really depends on your setup, your situation, and what you got. There's so many variables there that I'm not going to put a number to it. I'll give you a roundabout what you might get, but again, it really depends on how you're set up. Anyways, guys, if you liked the video, hit that like and subscribe button. I really appreciate all the feedback. I appreciate you tuning into the channel week after week. It means the world to us, and I really hope to see you on the next one. Take care.